NNRG.
Okay, so the name of this game is Star Trek Strategic Operations Simulator, and I'm going to guess that they came up with that S.O.S. acronym on purpose, just to make it sound like you're having to go rescue space stations and stuff, because that's effectively what it is. Like, this is a game that showed up on numerous consoles and computers. Like, the C64 is not exclusive here. In fact, I happen to have a copy of this game for the... I think I might have a copy for the ColecoVision, but I know for sure I have a copy for the Atari 2600. Because, yeah, this game was plastered everywhere to take advantage of the Star Trek hype that was building up in the early 80s. So, let's load it up here. It's tape file. So, found Star Trek. It is loading. And... oh, that was fast. And we got... we had a very, very basic little ditty at the start there, and that's it. Okay. Now this one's only indicating itself as Star Trek. It's not like giving the full name, Star Trek Strategic Operations Simulator. Probably because that's a ridiculously long name. Let's count the syllables here. Star Trek Strategic Operations Simulator. That's 13 syllables. Of course, the name's kind of a misnomer because this is not strategic in whatsoever. So, I've never played the C64 version, but having played both the ColecoVision and the Atari versions, I know what to expect because they're virtually identical. They're just different in terms of graphics. So, yeah, this is exactly what I was expecting. Okay, so we're controlling the Enterprise here. So we've got sort of an overhead view in the top corner there. We've got our stats over at the side. And basically all we're doing is we're trying to line up the Klingon ships and blow them out of the sky. And once all the enemies are gone, we warp to the next area. Now, one thing that's a little confusing is we're using phasers here. I have to imagine there's got to be some way to, like, switch to photon torpedoes or something. Maybe? Because that's what our gauges at the side are supposed to be. They're supposed to be for, like, energy levels and stuff. And we can, like, dock at star bases to get our energy back. Well, let's see if we can actually do something here. Does spacebar... oh, nope. Spacebar does nothing. So, maybe some other key on the keyboard will do something? And spacebar does nothing. Let's see if any keys do anything. No, and the enemies have taken out all the star bases, so... I think the way it works is you get one new starbase, or not this time. Apparently I'm facing some kind of mine lane thing? Yeah, it's laying mines. Okay, and now we've got a color cycling and it says 0.4. I have no idea what that was about. Like, I mean, yeah, I've played the game before, but I do not recall that sort of 0.4 thing that occurred in the middle there. Like, I've never seen that in the other games. Maybe there's, like, some kind of, special feature that's tied to that? But yeah, as you can see, this is very much just an incredibly basic shooting game, but this was all over the place back when it first came out. It was like, they were trying to push this game so hard. Now apparently we got 1.4 now. I have no idea what this means. Oh, and suddenly we're back to the title screen. Apparently if you run out of energy, you just go back to title. Also, that was kind of weird how the game loaded without, like, any crack loader or anything like that. Not to mention loaded surprisingly fast. But looking through some stuff here, it seems that this was actually distributed as a cartridge game for the C64. Which, I know they exist, but there weren't a lot of them compared to disc and tape-based games. But in any case, I've actually pulled up the manual for this game. And this is kind of hilarious. So, the first page in the manual says, "You are the potential captain of the USS Enterprise. Your training mission, save the Federation from their most powerful enemy, Nomad, which that's kind of a callback to the original series, sort of, except for the fact that they actually destroyed the Nomad probe in the original series. So I have no idea what this is in reference to then. Okay, so it says there are 10 levels of progressive difficulty, 5 rounds of action-packed adventure each, so that's like 50 levels? Holy jeez. Fighting off marauding Klingons and menacing antimatter saucers. That's not a sentence. Look, this is how it looks in the actual manual. Fight off marauding Klingons and menacing antimatter saucers. Okay, maybe that is a sentence. And the rest of it is destroy them before they destroy you, or they will deplete your Enterprise functions and defenses, dock with your starbases, replenish your weapons, repair your damages. The longer you survive, the more space dangers you'll encounter, maneuver through perilous fields of asteroids and blazing meteors, store your energy. That again is not a sentence. Sharpen your navigational skills. Prepare for the ultimate challenge. Destroy the deadly mine-laying nomad. Oh, so that's what the mine-laying enemy was. So we have to destroy it 10 times? Hey. If you're successful, proceed deeper into space for more Star Trek action, 10 different skill levels of unparalleled adventure. Do you dare to venture where no video game has gone before? Be brave, be bold, be daring, but beware. Holy jeez. Look, they can't even call them normal points. They're called strategy training units. I mean, really? Okay, so the most important thing I pulled from the manual is that to use the photon torpedoes, you push down on the joystick. So let's actually try that. Do we have... Oh, let's get some enemies in range. Yep, that works. And it destroys a whole radius of them. So, like, that's useful if you got a bunch of enemies all around each other, like right here. Oh, that only destroyed the one that time. But yeah, this is playing pretty much as I would have expected it to, just based on my prior experience with the game on the 2600 and the ColecoVision. So, now, granted, I have no idea how some of the other ones play. Like, I mean, I know the game's on the Vectrix, and I think I might have played the Vectrix version emulated. Like, I've never actually played on a real Vectrix before, so I don't know how it would have looked on the proper vector display, but... yeah, they put this game out everywhere. This thing, there are so many systems they released this on. It's almost like, what was another game that got a lot of different ports? Yeah, it's almost like how Lemmings had a whole bunch of different releases for it. And I'm noticing with these photon torpedoes here that they kind of like explode in a radius. And they've got some range to them, so the photon torpedoes are better used to stay out of an enemy's line of fire, like way at range. Which, I don't remember if that's how it works in the other games. I think in the other games, the way the photon torpedoes work is you can actually guide them. In that, once you fire them, you can actually turn your ship, and it turns the torpedo as it moves through the air. I might be misremembering that, but yeah, seem to be going through the levels pretty well now. Okay, so that's what this thing is showing. It's showing the round number that I just finished. So the second round, and then the 0.4, I don't know what that's in reference to. Now I'm going to assume the difficulty is going up as I complete these levels, but they kind of all do feel like the same level of difficulty, so... like, I'm not sure how it's getting harder. It's probably getting harder in some manner, like maybe just getting subtly faster with each mission cleared, but not really noticing much so far. And I mean, these rounds are going by real fast. I'm already up to round 4, considering that 0 was a round number. So, I mean, we're almost halfway through the whole set of 50. Although, I'm kind of low on shields now, so maybe I should get that restored a bit. Dock with some starbases. Try not to crash into the enemies. Okay, that's 5 rounds down. Like, I'm technically halfway through the game now. Like, I'm debating whether I should keep going or not, but it's really just going to be more of the same. Not to mention, I am really low on energy. Also, I just lost all my photon torpedoes. So, I got a funny feeling I'm not going to survive much longer. Oh wait, I see what's going on now with the difficulty increase. They're just firing more often. Okay, that makes sense. So the further you get, the more often the enemies take shots at you. But that kind of just raises the question of if the game is even possible to beat, because you only have rotational movement there. You don't have like the full, you don't have like any kind of inertia or anything going. So you can only shoot in the direction you're facing, which means to hit an enemy, you have to fly towards it, which means they're capable of shooting at you while you're capable of shooting at them, which means how do you dodge them effectively if they're always firing? Because if the firing rate goes up, it's eventually going to get to the point where you can't outpace multiple enemies. That said, this is probably the longest I've ever played this game for. And that's kind of saying something, because I've only been recording for like 18 minutes. Because yeah, I do have the Atari 2600 version of the game, but the thing is, that was just part of this lot of games that I got. And it wasn't exactly one I was specifically hunting down, because I'd played the ColecoVision version before, and like, it was fun, but it was very basic. You get bored of it quickly. And yet they ported this thing to so many different systems. Like they must have thought it was going to sell like hotcakes or something, because yes, Star Trek brand right there, and you had the movies out at the time which were really gaining traction. And well, this doesn't this does not play strategically. It's not a very effective simulation. There's no operations in it other than just operating the left, right, forward photon phaser capabilities of the ship. So, although to be fair, this is based off of an arcade game, and I think the arcade game might have been some vector sort of thing. I'm not sure, because again, I've never played the arcade version. But I'm going to guess the arcade version is probably similar in terms of gameplay. It was probably supposed to be a quarter muncher. So in terms of porting this to these home consoles and stuff, like, I mean, the game plays fine. It's just incredibly repetitive and gets old fast.